Every artist gets asked the question, where do you get your ideas? The honest artist answers, I steal them. Welcome to Beyond the Pages. Today, we're diving deep into this, well, pretty provocative idea. This notion that, at the heart of all creativity lies a bit of skillful borrowing.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to kick things off. And for this deep dive, you've gathered some really rich material, especially Austin Kleon's Steal Like an Artist. I mean, the title itself just gets right to the chase, doesn't it? It gets right to what we're digging into, how all creative work is kind of interconnected.
Totally. And our aim today really is to unpack this idea that, every new creation somehow builds on what came before.
Right. And it's so crucial to get this up front. This isn't about downplaying creativity. It's actually the opposite, isn't it?
Exactly. Our goal is to show you, the listener, how embracing this idea can actually be super liberating. It can unlock inspiration in your own creative stuff, whatever field you're in.
We want to kind of shift the focus away from that pressure, that almost crippling need for total originality.
Right, that pressure, and instead explore the power that comes from influence, from transforming what's already out there.
Spot on. Because as we get into these sources, that whole idea of absolute originality starts to feel a bit, well, shaky. Jonathan Latham puts it so well, doesn't he? He says something like, when people call something original, 9 times out of 10, they just don't know the references.
Or the original sources involved.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that quote. Makes you think, how often do we see something new and have no clue about its history?
Okay, so let's really unpack this core idea.
Yeah.
Nothing just pops out of nowhere, right? This isn't even a new idea itself, funny enough. You see it way back.
Oh yeah, like in Ecclesiastes, there is nothing new under the sun. That line.
Exactly. And then centuries later, you've got Andre Gide saying something similar, like maybe everything has been said, but nobody was listening, so we got to say it again.
Huh. Probably true. But what's cool about how Kleon and others approach this is it's not defeatist, is it? It's more freeing.
Totally freeing. If everything is essentially a remix, like you said, a mashup, then that whole pressure to invent something completely out of thin air just evaporates. Kleon really emphasizes that every new idea is just a combo of older ones.
He uses that brilliant visual, the art school trick, right? Draw 2 parallel
And
lines.
boom, your eye sees that third thing, the negative space between them.
Yeah. It's like element 1 plus element 2 equals something totally new, that third thing. 1 plus 1 equals 3, creatively speaking.
And you can even see parallels in biology, can't you? Like genetics. You get traits from your parents, but you're a unique mix. You're not just a clone.
That's a great analogy. Ideas work like that, too. We inherit these, intellectual genes from our influences.
And here's the really empowering part, I think. We don't choose our biological parents, but Kleon says we do choose our genealogy of ideas.
Yes. We pick our teachers, our friends, the books we read, the music. All that stuff shapes us. Goethe said, we are shaped and fashioned by what we love. Puts the responsibility on us, doesn't it?
Definitely. It makes you ask yourself, how intentional am I being about what I let in? Jay-Z's quote on this is so powerful. He talks about finding fathers on wax and on the streets and in history.
We got to pick and choose the ancestors who would inspire the world we were going to make for ourselves. Man, that hits hard. It's about actively curating your influences.
So, okay, if we accept we're all borrowing, how do we do it well? Kleon makes this key distinction, right, between artists and hoarders.
Yeah, the hoarders just pile stuff up. Artists, though, they're selective. They collect what they truly love, what really speaks to them.
That selectivity is everything. It's not just vacuuming up information. It's about developing taste and eye for what resonates. Kleon talks about idea income, too.
Oh, yeah, the quality of what you take in directly affects the quality of what you put out, his mom's saying.
Garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah.
Classic, but so true, especially for creativity.
Totally. Be a good gatekeeper for your own mind. Jim Jarmusch had great advice on this, too, didn't he? Steal from anywhere that sparks something.
That speaks directly to your soul. Yeah? Authenticity comes from that genuine connection, not just copying randomly. Your work becomes authentic because you stole things you truly connected with.
Okay, but how do you find those things, those influences that speak to your soul? Kleon mentions Marcel Duchamp's idea.
Right. Focus on the artists themselves, not just sweeping movements in art history. Immerse yourself in the creators who grab you.
And then trace their influences, right? He calls it building an idea tree. Pick someone you love, devour their work, then find out who they love.
Exactly. Who influenced them? It creates this amazing intellectual family tree. You see the conversation across generations.
And you find your own place in it. Plus, as Kleon points out, Dead masters can't exactly turn you down as an apprentice, can they? Their work is just there for the taking, in a sense.
Ah, very true. Which leads us nicely into education, doesn't it? Kleon draws that line between just going to school and, like, real education.
Yeah, the lifelong learning thing. It's on us, isn't it? After formal schooling ends, the responsibility is yours.
And it's fueled by curiosity, right? That relentless need to know more. Chasing down references, digging deeper. Kleon says, just Google everything.
Even your dreams or problems. I love that. Just Google it all. RCA's quote fits perfectly here. Whether I went to school or not, I would always study. It's that inner drive.
Absolutely. And let's not forget the magic of just wandering through a library. Kleon talks about getting lost in the stacks, finding stuff by accident in bibliographies.
Oh, the serendipity. That's often where the best discoveries happen.
It really shows the difference between just consuming and actively searching.
Yeah.
And then there's the super practical tip, always carry a notebook.
Yes. He mentions David Hockney getting special pockets sewn into his jackets.
And Arthur Russell stuffing notes in his shirt.
Yeah.
Always ready to capture that fleeting thought, that overheard snippet, that observation.
You gotta have somewhere to put it, which brings us to the swipe file, or the, what does he call it? The morgue file.
Uh-huh. Yeah, the morgue file. A place to keep all those stolen bits and pieces. Quotes, images, ideas that you might want to, like, reanimate later in your own work.
Mark Twain's quote is perfect. It is better to take what does not belong to you than to let it lie around neglected. Reframes it completely. It's like idea recycling.
Exactly. Okay, so we're gathering, we're exploring. But how do we actually make the leap from just taking stuff in to putting stuff out? Kleon says, don't wait until you find yourself.
Right. You find yourself by doing the work. Your identity as a creator emerges from the act of creating.
And he tackles imposter syndrome head on, which so many people feel. That feeling you're just faking it.
Yeah, and his reassurance is so key. None of us do really know where the good stuff comes from. Just show up, do the work, embrace the uncertainty.
Which leads to fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
But he splits that idea, right? It's not just about pretending success.
No, it's also about pretending you are making something until you actually are. Like, act the part, dress for the job you want, do the work you want to do.
The Patti Smith story from Just Kids is perfect here. Her and Mapplethorpe in the park, just starting out.
And tourists think they're already artists. It shows that performative aspect of beginning. Glenn O'Brien said, you start out as a phony and become real. You grow into it.
Yeah, you got to set the stage for yourself, your workspace, your tools, your dedicated time.
Yeah.
It's all part of creating the conditions for work to happen.
Okay, so we start creating. Now, what about copying? Kleon makes a really important distinction here.
Crucial. He's talking about copying to learn, like practice. Not plagiarism, passing off someone else's work as yours. It's reverse engineering, basically. Taking things apart to see how they tick.
Yuji Yamamoto's advice is so direct. Copy, 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 copy. At the end of the copy, you will find yourself.
It's through that deep engagement, that repetition, that your own voice starts to kind of peek through the cracks.
Think about how we learn basics, right? Tracing letters, playing scales, art students copying masterpieces. The Beatles started as a cover band.
Exactly. Paul McCartney talks openly about his influences. Even Dali, Mr. Surreal Originality, said, those who do not want to imitate anything produce nothing. Imitation can be a vital step.
But Kleon warns against just copying the style, doesn't he?
Right. The goal isn't just to look like your heroes. It's to steal the thinking behind the style. Understand why they made the choices they did. See the world like they do.
Which leads to that difference between imitation and emulation. Imitation is just copying the surface.
While emulation is where you break through. You take the influence, but your own voice starts transforming it into something new, something yours. Coppola talked about this cycle, right? You steal, you make it your own, then people steal from you.
Yeah, it's an ongoing flow. Kobe Bryant admitted stealing moves, but he had to adapt them for his own body and game. That's emulation.
Perfect example. And Conan O'Brien had that great insight about comedy. You try to be your heroes, you fall short. And that's where your unique voice comes from.
Yeah.
Your failure defines you.
It's the human flaw. You can't make a perfect copy, and that imperfection is your originality emerging.
So Kleon says, the best way to honor your heroes isn't just blind imitation. It's transforming their work into something new, adding your unique spin. That's real flattery.
Which connects perfectly to the idea of fan fiction, doesn't it? Kleon writing his own Jurassic Park sequel as a kid.
Yeah, just pure love for the original and wanting more of it.
And he uses that to challenge the old write what you know advice. Sometimes that's boring. He prefers Brian Eno's take.
Oh, I love that one. My interest in making music has been to create something that does not exist that I would like to listen to. Make the thing you want to experience.
Fill the gap. Kleon even jokes that maybe all fiction is fan fiction. We make art because we love art. So the best advice, write what you like.
Or just ask yourself, what would make a better story? Apply it to anything. What do you wish existed? Go make it.
The Bradford Cox story is wild, making fake versions of albums he was excited about. That's channeling fandom into creation.
Totally. It's about engaging actively, asking questions. What did my favorite movie miss? What could be better? What would that artist make today? What if I collaborated with them?
And that leads to the big manifesto. Do the work you want to see done. Don't wait around. Make it happen. John Cleese said ideas don't come from being told what to do, right? They come from your curiosity.
Right. Okay, switching gears slightly. Kleon really champions analog tools in our digital world. Linda Berry's quote.
In the digital age, don't forget to use your digits. Love it. Our hands are the OG digital devices.
He argues computers can sometimes create this weird disconnect, right? Like you're not actually making something tangible. Stanley Don would call the screen a sheet of glass between you and the work.
Yeah, if you just sit there, hunched over. Kleon talks about bringing your body back into it. Going through the motions can actually spark ideas. Edward Tufte advocates for real-world stuff too, gardening, walking, reading physical books.
Kleon himself found that moving back to notebooks and pens in his writing workshops made things click again. His newspaper blackout poems are a perfect example, physically interacting with the material.
He makes a good point. Computers are amazing for editing, for publishing, but for that initial messy stage of idea generation, maybe not always the best, that delete key is too tempting.
And the perfectionism it encourages. Tom Gould's contrast with a sketchbook, endless possibility, no pressure.
So Kleon suggests this loop. Start analog, maybe move to digital to refine, maybe back to analog. He even talks about having 2 separate workstations.
Yeah. An analog zone, no screens allowed.
Yeah.
Just for generating ideas. And then a digital zone for editing and publishing.
And he gives practical tips for that analog space. Lots of paper, pens, sticky notes. Treat it like playtime. Stand up, pin stuff on the wall, look for patterns, make it physical.
It links to that interesting take on procrastination from Jessica Heish. The work you do while you procrastinate is probably the work you should be doing.
Huh. Yeah, maybe those side projects, the things you do to avoid the real work, are actually where your true passion lies.
Kleon definitely values those side projects, the messing around phase. That's often where the breakthroughs happen when the pressure's off.
And boredom. He talks about getting ideas while ironing or washing dishes. Mayor Kalman saying, avoiding work is the way to focus my mind. It sounds weird, but downtime lets your brain wander.
So yeah, make time to just wander. Get lost a bit. You never know what you'll stumble upon.
Okay, what if you have like tons of different interests? Feel scattered. Stephen Tomlinson's advice that Kleon shares is great here.
Don't cut things off. Keep all your passions. Let them talk to each other. Find the connections.
He mentions that phantom limb pain you feel when you neglect something you love. He felt it when he stopped playing music and found going back actually helped his writing.
Different creative streams can feed each other. And having a hobby, something just for fun, no pressure, super important, like his Sunday band idea. Pure joy.
So don't throw any part of yourself away. Don't worry about making it all fit perfectly right now. The unity comes from the fact that you made it. It all flows through you.
Okay, let's talk about getting your work seen. That big question. How do I get discovered? Especially after, say, college, where you had a built-in audience.
Yeah, the real world is busy, as Stephen Pressfield says. But Kleon flips, this being unknown is actually freeing.
Totally. It's your time to experiment like crazy, make stuff just for fun, focus on getting good without everyone watching or expecting things. Enjoy the obscurity while it lasts.
So the formula for getting known eventually, Kleon says it's simple but not easy. Step 1, do good work.
That's the hard part. Requires dedication, practice, failure. Step 2, share it with people.
And that part, sharing, is easier than ever now, right? Put your stuff on the internet.
He has this lovely idea about the secret of the internet. Just wonder about something and invite others to wonder with you. Focus on what others aren't wondering about.
And just be open. Share your passions. Share your process. Artists aren't magicians hiding tricks. Think Bob Ross or Martha Stewart. They built empires by giving away their secrets.
Sharing helps others, sure, but Kleon argues it helps you too. You learn, you get feedback. Even theft can be inspiration.
Yeah.
It keeps you accountable.
The internet isn't just for publishing finished stuff. It's an incubator. Having a website or blog, that container, makes you want to fill it. The reverse chronological thing keeps you creating.
So practical steps. Maybe learn some basic code, build a site, blog, use social media mindfully, connect with people who get you, but you don't have to share everything.
Right. Share sketches, process snippets, tips, links, book recommendations. Share your dots without feeling like you have to connect them all yet.
And don't obsess about people stealing ideas. Good ideas often need pushing, as Howard Aiken said. Getting them noticed is the real challenge.
Kleon found his people online, even growing up in a small town. Location isn't the barrier it used to be. You can build your own world, surround yourself with things you love, your beach. Like the Beach Boys song, In My Room.
Kafka said you can find the world just by being still at your desk. But Kleon also finds creative space in unexpected places. A mall bookstore, the bus, a Wi-Fi-free barbershop.
Yeah, anywhere you can grab a moment of focus, that forced shutdown at the airport.
Always carry a book, pen, and notebook. Be ready. Jonah Lehrer's quote about distance and difference being the secret tonic. Travel changes your perspective, even short trips.
Right. So even with the internet, Kleon says geography still matters. Sometimes you need to leave home, shake up your brain.
Travel makes the familiar look new. Even visiting a nearby different culture, he jokes about Texas being like Mars can stark things.
When choosing where to live, it's personal. He mentions weather. Maybe bad weather helps you focus. Interesting people, not just in your field. Good food. Find a place that feeds you on all levels.
But even then, you might need to get away sometimes. Luckily, your peers are often online. But ultimately, why connect? Kleon says simply, I'm here to make friends.
And online, kindness is key, right? The golden rule applies. Everyone can Google their name, ignore the haters, say nice things to make friends, Vonnegut knew.
And garbage in, garbage out for online relationships, too. Follow people who are smarter, better, doing inspiring work. Questlove's advice. Harold Ramis's rule. Find the most talented person and stand next to them.
Don't be the most talented person in your own room. Challenge yourself.
And if you get sucked into online drama, his wife's advice. Stop fighting on Twitter. Go make something. Channel that energy. Henry Rollins style.
Don't get obsessed with fan mail or validation. Hugh MacLeod. The best way to get approval is to not need it. Instead, make public fan letters, blog posts, tributes, answers, improvements. Appreciate others' work actively.
That act of appreciation can spark your own work, which leads to that final stretch about validation and sustainability. Craig Damreyer's quote.
Modern art. I could do that. Plus. Yeah, but you didn't. Exactly. So much unseen work goes into it.
And recognition might come late or never. Don't rely on external validation. Your control ends when you release the work.
Good work often looks effortless, hiding the struggle. People might not get it. Get okay with being misunderstood. Focus on the work itself.
It can be lonely. Discouragement happens. Validation feels good, but it fades. Kleon suggests that praise file for dark days.
Yeah, keep the nice emails, delete the nasty ones, dip into it sparingly for a boost.
But for long-term survival.
Yeah.
Routine, order, Flaubert. Be regular and orderly in your life so that you may be violent and original in your work.
Forget the chaotic genius myth. Creativity takes energy. Protect it. Take care of yourself. Eat well, exercise, sleep. Patti Smith says go to the dentist. Neil Young burns slow.
And learn about money, budgeting, saving, living within your means. It gives you freedom. Say no to endless consumerism.
A day job is often necessary, at least for a while. It brings money, routine, connection, and ironically, freedom from having to monetize your art immediately. Bill Cunningham's point.
Try to find a day job where you can learn useful skills. Yeah, it takes time, but the routine helps fight inertia, the death of creativity. Carve out time within that routine.
Work expands to fill the time. Right. Parkinson's law. So set limits. Do the work every day, even if it's short. Philip Larkin called it a double life.
Find a decent job that doesn't completely drain you. Building a body of work is slow accumulation. 1 page a day adds up.
Use a calendar. Track your progress. Seinfeld's don't break the chain method. Keep a logbook too, just notes about your day. Helps you see progress over time. Nicholson Baker called it cheerful retrospection.
And finally, relationships. Kleon quotes Tom Waits on Kathleen Brennan's importance. Who you marry, who you surround yourself with, is huge.
Good partners keep you grounded. And in this age of too much info, the key is knowing what to leave out. Too many options paralysis.
Constraints can actually unblock you. Limitations mean freedom, weirdly. Writing on your lunch break, painting with one color, making an iPhone movie.
Stop making excuses. Use what you have now. The right constraints can lead to your best work. Think Dr. Seuss with Cat in the Hat and Green Eggs and Ham. Tiny vocabularies.
Jack White said limitations can kill creativity sometimes, so it's a balance. But Saul Steinberg's idea resonates. Art is the artist's struggle against limitations. What's left out is often the interesting part.
So embrace your limits. Keep going. Creativity isn't just what you put in, it's what you choose to leave out. Choose well, and yeah, have fun.
Exactly. So the big takeaway here isn't about some impossible quest for pure originality. It's about influence, transformation, and just doing the work consistently.
Yeah, embracing that steal like an artist mindset. And this is useful for pretty much anyone, right? Anyone wanting more creativity, feeling stuck by the originality myth, or just looking for practical ways to grow.
Definitely. Is for anyone looking to find their own voice?
Okay, final thought for you, listener. Pick one creator you really admire. Spend the next week digging into their influences. Who did they steal from? See what connections you find. It might just spark something totally new for you.
Trace that lineage. Find your spot in the story.
It's been a fantastic discussion. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive.
Really enjoyed unpacking all this.
If you found this helpful, please subscribe to Beyond the Pages, share it with someone who might dig it, and check out our YouTube channel. Thanks for diving deep with us.